the jump rope.
Ooh. Oh gosh.
So there's a lot of, so it's interesting.
I can only do 4 passes.
The first reaction. So, I guess if I went back, like my experience with jump ropes was probably much the same as my first experiences would probably be much the same as a lot of experiences. Like we did this on the playground as a kid. Like at some point we were introduced to a jump rope. Now there's almost no playgrounds left. I mean, I just walk around and kids aren't moving like they used to. And I don't ever see kids jumping rope, even when we pick the 10-year-old up from school or whatever. I just don't see.
So they figured out the jump rope is shit. Is what you're telling me.
I think there's probably a combination of things there, but yeah, maybe they figured out what I figured out. I just hate jumping rope.
It sucks.
But I'm going to be honest. So a jump rope came back onto the scene when CrossFit came back onto the scene.
Sure.
And why? Because the jump rope is a very effective tool when used properly with the right application.
Absolutely. And
you see very, very fit people using the jump rope. Jump rope was originally invented to have fun with, right? It was a toy. The jump rope was like a toy. And then you saw it being used heavily in like the boxing world, like in martial arts, because we're talking about speed, agility, quickness, hand-eye coordination. Yep. There's some level of conditioning that comes along with it. It's awesome for cardiovascular health. Again, when used properly with the right application. But then we saw this thing start to pop up in CrossFit. Again, not blaming CrossFit for this again at all.
You guys did a lot of good things.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff at CrossFit. It came in, and so people started picking it up, and because it was part of the regular workouts. Well, the challenge that I have with the jump rope, particularly for a newbie, is that most adults, after being inactive, sedentary, for as long as they've been in sedentary or inactive, when they get back into the gym, it's been a long time since they're on the playground, they get into this jump roping and all kinds of shit starts to rear its ugly head, from the feet to the knees, to the hips, to the back, all the way up into the shoulders. So when do you use jump rope? When is it appropriate to maybe get into jump rope, and how do you get started? Cece.
When do you use the jump rope? Do you want to use the jump rope? I guess that's the first question.
I think that's a great question, because I honestly believe most adults do not need to be jumping around in order to get fit.
Exactly.
No,
right now,
there's so many other ways.
If they have certain goals, like, performance goals, or you need to jump rope for a CrossFit competition or whatever, you're trying to work on your power, vertical leap, let's just say contact time, whatever, with your feet.
Reaction time with the
reaction
floor,
time. Then it makes a lot of sense. But most adults do not need to be jumping around. That includes boxes and any other goddamn thing that I see out there trainers doing. But anyway,
this goes back to the power podcast that we've already done. But like when you start having people that don't know what they're doing, and I don't mean that in like the sense of like you physically don't know how to use a jump rope. Like you don't know where your body's at in space, and you start adding these plyometric hard power movements. Your body's going to do whatever it sees fit necessary to survive the least amount of energy. Right. So like whatever, if that's a shitty movement pattern, it's not a good movement pattern.
Yeah. And it's just repetitive, which is the other bad part if all of those things are in line. So I don't know if he took some of that thunder.
No, I mean, I think you have to be able to learn to, can you jump and absorb force with the landing before you start doing a jump rope? Because if your knees are coming to the midline every single time, wow, what are you setting yourself up for? What types of foot issues have you had in the past? Because if you've had plantar fasciitis in the past and then you start doing jump rope, I mean, is that going to be setting you up for another case of plantar fasciitis? I mean, so however, let's just say you're conditioned, you're a runner, or you're physically active, and you want to start jumping rope. Well, then you know what? It's kind of just like running. You do a little bit and then you see how your body feels, and you just gradually increase over time. And maybe it's, a 10% jump. So let's say, okay, I'm going to do 50 jumps today, jump ropes, and then see how I feel. You know what? The next day, your calves are probably going to be sore. So you're probably not going to jump rope that day. But you know what? Maybe on day 3, you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling refreshed. Okay, so I'm going to increase that by like 10, 20%. So that's 55 to 60. Maybe exactly, and then work your way up. if that's something that you want to do.
Right. I think that's the other part of it is don't feel like you have to jump rope to get into shape. And if you see it in a workout for the first time, you're walking into see maybe a group or, some type of a class where there's jumping rope and you haven't been doing that for a while. Two things. First, do not try to complete that jump rope workout on day one.
Yeah.
And secondly, you don't necessarily have to jump rope, right? There doesn't have to actually be a rope in your hands. Like you can like sort of mimic that you're jumping rope and doing it at a slower pace so that you're getting the action, the repetitive action without continually fucking it up. That is the rope hitting your feet or getting all tangled or whatever, so that you start to build the repetition and the endurance and the coordination and things over time. So yeah, to jump rope or not jump rope, that's to be, that's based on the individual. And for the people that were listening to CC talk about all the plantar fasciitis stuff and the things that happen at the feet, that will be another episode that we're going to handle here in a short period of time. We're going to nerd out about feet. So all you people with feet fetishes, make sure you tune in for that one.